Today we're going to look at PowerPoint a little bit from a different angle. We're going to use it to actually make simple frame animations. So I'm going to go ahead and I've opened a new presentation and I deleted those two text boxes because I don't need them. And I'm going to go to design and we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to make this look a little bit more interesting. I'm going to go ahead and make a different colored background just so I can actually make a setting, because the whole point of this is to tell a story. You know, we can have fun with this and make it more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and select a shape, and we're going to get some grass going here. With my students, we typically use this as just a way to make simple frame animations, and this is the way they learn it from start to finish, but then they get it a little bit more in depth to where they actually have to create a character and develop a story. So it gets a little bit more complicated, but for today I'm just going to show you how you can use it. So I'm going to make a circle, and this circle is going to be a ball. We're going to pretend there's a ball bouncing on the grass in and out of the frame. So this ball is my subject matter. It's my main character. I'm going to move it out of the frame a little bit so you can see here on the left where you can just barely see it there. I'm going to right click on the slide on the left and I'm going to click duplicate slide. On the duplicated slide, I'm going to slightly move the circle just a little bit. And I'm going to repeat that process over and over. And each time I'm going to bring the ball into the frame a little bit more. And then once it's completely in the frame, I can start manipulating it a little bit. Now I'm going to make it look like this ball bounces on the grass and bounces back up. So I'm going to keep going. So once we're into the grass a little bit, we're going to talk about what we're actually going to do to this circle. And if you want to, you can always just use your keyboard shortcuts. It's a lot easier. So on this slide here, I am actually going to smush the ball a little bit. So I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to widen it out a little bit. Then I'm going to do it again. And just a little bit more. And something to keep in mind is the smaller the movement, the more fluid it will look when you're done. Now, the more abrupt movement, it's going to look a little bit choppy, but that's okay. Still, though, you want to keep that in mind. So the more frames is a good thing most of the time. Now, you do have a limit for how we're going to do this, and that limit is 100 frames. So right now I'm on slide 17. I'm okay for now. But I don't want to make too much more. I don't want to make more than I have to. Let's put it that way. So the ball has bounced. Now it's coming back up. And it's going to keep going. And this part gets a little tedious. It's more fun once the students have created a character and they can move it around. It's almost like they've created a virtual puppet. It's actually quite fun. I'm going to keep going. Now, the tricky part's going to come when we have to save this. Right now, we've essentially created a digital flip book. Each one of these frames or slides in PowerPoint terminology is one of your little drawings. So if you ever remember making those when you were a kid, you made your little stick figure and on each piece of paper it moved just a little bit. That's what this is. Except instead of using the paper, we're using PowerPoint. Alright, I'm almost done. It's going to bounce off to the side. It's going to be out of the frame here in a minute. So right now I'm at 37 frames, which is not bad at all. And there it goes. This is a little time consuming, but it's actually very easy to see which students put forth the most effort for this because it's very much a craftsmanship type assignment. It's very much a craftsmanship assignment because the students have to show you essentially what their story is. Now, if it helps when you're in this screen on the left, if you scroll through it quickly, you will get an idea of the movement that's happening if you do it fast enough. If you've got to scroll on your mouse, it makes it a lot easier, but it'll give you an idea. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and I'm going to click Save As. I'm going to go ahead and title this animation. I'm going to make sure it's somewhere I can find it. I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And right now it's saved as a PowerPoint presentation, so I'm going to click Save. Now here's the tricky part. We have to save this twice. So I'm going to go back to File, and this time I'm going to click Export. When I click Export, I am going to change the file format. So I'm going to change it to a, if you say it GIF or GIF, it makes no difference to me. I'm going to save it to a GIF. Now, that's going to be its frame. I'm going to go ahead and click Export. Each slide of the presentation has been saved as a separate file in the folder. There you go. I'm going to click OK. So essentially what I've done is I've taken one file and I've saved it into every single frame. So I'm going to go to my desktop and I see there's a folder there that's now titled Animation. I still have the PowerPoint, but I also have the folder that has all the individual slides. Now the reason I save it as a PowerPoint too is in case I ever want to go back and edit it, I easily can. I'm going to go ahead and open my internet browser and I'm going to go to a website called gifmaker.me. I'm going to select Upload Images, and then this is going to open. I know exactly where to find my folder. Remember, save it somewhere you know. I'm going to click Desktop. I'm going to open the folder, not the PowerPoint. I'm going to select slide 1 first, and then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom holding the Shift key so I can select them all. Or you can click and drag and click Open. Now, this part takes a few minutes. Now, remember what I said. The more frames, the better, but this does have a limit of 100 frames. I was at 41. So over here at the control panel is what we have to look at because that's where it's going to load up all of our frames and give us our animation. There is our animation, and as you can see, it is moving quite slowly. So that's the next part of this process. I'm going to go down here to animation speeds. The higher the number, the slower it goes. Lower the number, the faster it'll go. So you can go ahead and type it in. I say about 50 milliseconds is a good one, and there I can see the ball as it moves up and out, but I can play with it if I want to, so I can make it even faster if I really want to, but I don't. I'm going to go ahead and say 50 is pretty good. Now, right now it's on a loop. If I want to, I could set it so it only loops 5 times, or it only loops twice, and then it stops. Totally up to me. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on 0 so it's just on an infinite loop. You can also set music to this as well and where it'll begin. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it with no music. This is the next part. Create a GIF animation, video animation, frame animation, combine animated GIFs. I tell my students to create a GIF animation, and the reason is because a GIF can be uploaded anywhere you can upload a regular image. Whereas if you create a video animation, you're a little bit more limited. So I'm going to go ahead and create the GIF animation. And it says, please wait a moment. Now, if you do set this to music, your wait time is going to take a little bit longer. So, after it says to wait, now I have all these options. I can view the GIF, I can download it, and all these other ones. I'm going to go ahead and view it, so it's going to open up in a new window, and there it is. And now I'm going to click download. and it's going to go ahead and download to my downloads folder. Once it's in my downloads folder, I can do whatever I'd like with it. I can treat it like a regular image and upload it to my website. It's a lot easier as a GIF than a video animation because the format is so much smaller. Now remember, you still have the PowerPoint presentation, so you can always go back and edit it and change it around if you'd like. Totally up to you. I'm going to go to downloads real quick just to make sure it's there. There it is, output. I'm going to open it up. And I can treat this like any other image on my computer. Put it to the website, put it to a blog. Good to go. Alright, I hope you liked this. I hope it was informative and that you use PowerPoint in a slightly different way.